is so random, but welcome back to Cynthia Untamed, your youthful and educational platform. I don't know if you've noticed, but I am not in my usual location. I am somewhere exciting. I am in New York. Oh goodness. This is actually my second day in New York, but I didn't have the chance to film my first day, which was on 16th of September 2022, and it's because I was so busy. Guess what? I was the master of ceremony at the Transforming Education Summit. Oh goodness, it was amazing. Please, if you want to get the highlights of what I got engaged in the entire day, please follow me on my social media handles on Instagram at CynthiaUNTAMED_Nyongesa, on Twitter at Cynthia_Opera, on Facebook and LinkedIn just Cynthia Nyongesa. If you search me there, you will see all the highlights, but I will also direct you to the United Nations YouTube page so that you get to watch the whole event. But what I will do is I'll make sure that I'll just put a few highlights here and there. It was amazing, goodness. In as much as I got to New York at 2 a.m. in the morning and I had to be at the United Nations headquarters by 7:30, I made it, and I was literally coming up with a script at the airport when I was coming to New York in Qatar. I started working on it in Nairobi, but I had to make a couple of changes, and I had to work on it in New York. Oh goodness, it was exhausting, but today is a bit more relaxed. I've woken up a little bit later. I'm feeling a bit more calm. I'm feeling a little bit more rested. I think I was running on adrenaline on 16th. I don't have any speaking engagements today, so what I want to do is go grab some breakfast, then after that head over to the UN headquarters, get to meet a couple of people there, see if I can sit in a few sessions, get to network, get to do lots of fun stuff, and then at the end of the day also prepare for my speaking engagements in the coming days. So I'm really so excited, but let me show you the view. Although it's really just a building behind me, but let me show you the view, and then we'll walk over and have some breakfast. Welcome to the United Nations Transforming Education Summit, and these are the pillars. So track 1 says inclusive, equitable, safe and healthy schools. Amazing, don't you think? The second one is about teachers, teaching and the teaching profession. I can tell you for sure you will not be where you are today without the power and commitment of teachers, So please respect your teachers and please advocate for your governments to pay teachers enough. And then the next one is financing of education, a big pillar of which I have been a champion of. In 2021, I collaborated with the government of Kenya and the United Kingdom to conduct the Raise Your Hand Transforming Global Education Summit, where we got to raise $4 billion US for the most vulnerable children. The next track is digital learning and transformation. I think we saw that, especially during the pandemic, because it was so difficult for children to access schools. And what I saw is that a lot of children who had access to the internet were able to continue learning, while those who did not have it really struggled. We have missed one here, and that is learning and skills for life, work, and sustainable development. I think it's very important to realize that education should not just be about going to school, but it should also be about learning, such that by the time you are done with school, you're able to integrate into the society, start your own company, start your own business, get into the workforce, and contribute to society. Okay, this is probably one of my most favorite pieces of the summit. This is the UNICEF kind of a stand. I don't know whether to call it a stand, but is displayed by UNICEF. I don't know if you have seen any school children with these bags, especially in Nairobi, in Kenya, or anywhere across the country. I have seen them all over in Nairobi, in Turkana, and this is the popular UNICEF bag over here. And then those are definitely the chairs, as you can see. So it's more like a display of a classroom. But that statistic there, I think, is really, really sad, because it says only 1 in 3 10-year-olds globally can read and understand a simple story, which is very unfortunate, because we know that education is a pillar to enable the most vulnerable children to access education. And if so many of those children cannot read or write a story, then that means that it's going to be very difficult for them to escape poverty. So thanks so much to UNICEF for this, and so we'll keep working. To that banner over there, I'm not so sure which organization is posting it, but let's have a look. Oh, how exciting! I see it's written #LetMeLearn. Let's see. #LetMeLearn, which is great, because just yesterday, which was the 16th of October, we actually had a meeting with Gordon Brown, who is the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And we had a conversation on education and why it's really important for children and young people to access education. But one of the most important things we emphasized when we had a conversation with him was the importance of including young people in all sorts of conversations, and especially enabling them to design programs, implement programs, and actually monitor and evaluate them. So thank you so much to the world for having this at the United Nations. And then there is another one here, which I haven't really had the chance to look at, but I guess it's more of a description of resource mobilizations for the United Nations. I guess I'll look at it later on and maybe tell you about it. And lastly, we have a chalk display over here. I don't know if you can see it. Here. So beautiful. I was actually having a conversation with the guys who were drawing it yesterday, and this was the United Nations Girls Education Initiative, and they were telling us that they're basically interacting with the people who are attending the United Nations Transforming Education Summit, getting their ideas and then putting them down on the ground. So maybe later on I will come back and actually have a drawing, but you may not be able to see it. But some of the things that people are saying is there's this one that says brain has no gender. Yes, exactly, because one of the most important pillars of education is to ensure that there's gender transformative systems. And then there's one more here. Let me show you. This one says that all girls, especially the most vulnerable girls, should be able to access secondary education. So that is what we have out here, just at the entrance of the United Nations building, the headquarters right here in New York. I really hope you've got to see it, even if you are not here. Please do tell a friend to tell a friend.